Okay, everybody, here we go. It is March 6th, 2025. This is the Ask Me Anything that we do every Thursday. Normally, I'd be doing this as a live video on YouTube, but I don't know what's going on with YouTube last week and this week. I haven't been able to go live. It's super frustrating. It just spins and spins and spins and says it's going to go live, but it doesn't. I hope that gets sorted out. Anyway, no worries. I've got the questions all called up here and we'll get right into it. I'll get through all the questions and then I will just upload this video to the Linchpin YouTube channel and we'll be good to go. Some shout outs to begin. This one is super cool. Linchpin, I guess, has been around for a bit, the private track too. So we have Olivia B, and she's certainly a Linchpin OG. She says, March is my favorite month in Alaska because our light is coming back fast. It's also a favorite month because it marks an anniversary with Beyond the Whiteboard and with Linchpin. I started following Linchpin in 2015, following the daily workouts that were posted on Instagram, and I signed up for BTWB in the private track in 2018. Linchpin has seen me through 2 pregnancies and 2 postpartum journeys and hundreds of PRs along the way. So she was celebrating her 7-year anniversary with the Linchpin private track. I mean, that's some incredible consistency and dedication. This one I entitled Strong Mom. It's from Alexandra S. She says, what you do with Linchpin is such a godsend. The time and dedication you take so we can all live our best lives for the rest of our lives. I'm just in awe and appreciation for all that you do. Thank you so much. That's very kind. I'm not new to fitness, and I'm not new to CrossFit. If anything, I'm 12 years older with 3 kids I didn't used to have. I was expecting PRs to basically dry up in this stage of my life, yet since joining Linchpin, I am so much stronger, and today I found out I'm also so much faster. On the 800-meter repeats, I hit a lifetime PR, 3 minutes and 27 seconds for an 800-meter run. I have never done sub 4 minutes for an 800 ever. My legs felt powerful. My lungs struggled to keep up with them. I've never felt more capable and powerful to take on life, and it's all since joining Linchpin. Thank you. That's very, very cool. I mean, that fires me up. Keep doing what we're doing. And this is also from the 800-meter run workout. Just bringing it with the shout-outs here for the women. Here we go. Carrie L. This is for an 800-meter run. This PR means everything to me. 2022 was on, last time we did this in 2022, it was on an older powered treadmill that I'm not convinced was calibrated properly. Today I did it on an assault runner, no reduced distance because the elite model is calibrated to road paces. 18-year-old me could barely hold a 3-minute and 30-second pace running track when we used to do the 4x800 meter relay. And I was 20 pounds lighter back then. It was my toughest race. I always crashed and burned. Today, I was consistent at that same pace 3 times in a row, and it actually felt good at almost 32 years old. I don't think I've ever been this fast and strong in my life. Linchpin works. Thank you, Coach. So glad I found this programming and community. If that doesn't get you motivated, I don't know what will. So let's dive into the questions today. We've got a lot of stuff on the old docket. All right, I got the Facebook group opened up, and here we go. From Patrick S. When you program, quote unquote, pull-ups any style in the wildcard option, you give instructions that state it truly is any style. Would banded pull-ups still be considered prescribed if logged in the wildcard option, since the pull-ups in the wildcard option say any style? Yes, I would say that's true. I think you're good to go right there. Miranda G. You stated that when you were in the Navy, you were an endurance athlete, either willingly or unwillingly. Do you remember what your longest run was? Have you ever done an organized civilian long distance run? Would you do one at your current fitness level or at this time in your life? So yes, jokingly I say that almost anybody who's in the military, whether they want to be or not, is an endurance athlete. And my time in the SEALs was certainly highlighted that. I mean, going long is what you do. I don't remember the longest run that we did, like in the teams, post-BUDS, post-SEAL training, which is what BUDS is called. But in BUDS, in 3rd phase, the longest run that we have to do before graduation is 14 miles. And the longest swim that we have to do, this is a long time ago, by the way, in second phase was a 5.5 mile open ocean swim. And what's funny is like those distances, depending upon what you do, might sound like, oh my goodness, like a 5.5 mile open ocean swim or a 14-mile run. And I remember being a young man looking, to train to go to Buds and reading about it. And I just jogging around my neighborhood and like seeing that in third phase, a 14-mile run. Oh my goodness, like that seems so daunting and incredible. And then I talked to a team guy. I don't remember how back then a team guy crossed my path, but I talked to somebody who was in the SEALs. They knew what I wanted to do, and I told them that I was like really worried about the 14-mile run. And I think he had a good chuckle. And he was like, I'll tell you what, just worry about number one, getting into Buds, okay? Get selected, pass the test, get into Buds. Then once you're in Buds, just worry about not quitting. And if you do those two things, I promise you, you will not have to worry about that 14-mile run at all. And I was like, okay, whatever. This guy's a SEAL. I believe him, but still sounds crazy. It was so true. It was so true. By the time third phase rolled around, we did that 14-mile run, which I think we did like in sneakers instead of boots, like in long wet pants and sand after just getting our teeth kicked in all day long. Like in third phase, I think it was just a run like on concrete and sneakers. It was like an easy, laughable experience at that phase in life. So that kind of brings me back some memories. Have I done an organized civilian long distance run? No, I have not. I just go on some long runs with friends and whatnot every now and then, but not like an organized race. Would you do one right now? I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to it. I actually think it would probably be fun. I think my fitness would be just fine to do whatever distance I want to do, to be quite honest with you. But I will tell you why I'm not going to do it is, since in November, what are we in 2025? 2023 is when I got my total hip replacement. And so since having the total hip replacement, I run, I'll run on the Air Runner to reduce the impact a little bit, and I could go out and do a road run, but I don't think it would be the smartest long-term thing for my hip health, and that would be the only reason that I would say no. Other than that, like, I'm all in. That sounds good to me. Matthew S. How would you choose between working out more often or having a less sedentary lifestyle? With remote work and a busy schedule, I often feel like I have to choose between two options. Option number one, optimizing my time, spending the day sitting at my desk, but succeeding to actually get in a workout. Or option two, being less sedentary, such as walking my kid to school, commuting to work, which includes walking or biking, and maybe 10 to 15,000 steps during the day, but that would lack time for a workout session. The ideal goal would be taking the best of both worlds, but life doesn't care about what's ideal. No, life doesn't care about what's ideal, and if I'm fully understanding your question, it seems like and I don't know if this is accurate, but you're painting two very extreme situations. One is you're commuting to work, maybe in a vehicle, sitting at your desk all day long, but you get to work out. And then the other one is you are less sedentary. You're walking your kid to school, biking around to work, getting in 10 to 15,000 steps, but you don't have time for a workout. So I don't know if one is like, yes, I'm a workaholic that commutes to work, sits at my desk, and I drive in, but I don't get to see my kid. And the other one is like, I get to spend time with my kid. I'm walking him to school. I have this much more, engaged in actual real lifestyle, but I don't get to do a workout. Again, just slightly, I think I get your question, but slightly confused by it. If it's those two extremes, one is you get to interact with your child, but you don't get to get in a formal workout. And the other one is you don't get to interact with your child, but you get in a formal workout. I would choose interacting with your child. that would be my thing. Between those two extremes that you said right there. I would also say, it's easy to paint two extreme examples. I would find it, against possible, profoundly hard to believe that if we had the old drone of scrutiny, an invisible drone that recorded everything you did 24 hours a day and you didn't know that it was there, that we couldn't find 30 minutes 3 to 4 times a week to do something with a pair of dumbbells. I would find that extraordinarily challenging to believe. I mean, but maybe that is, some people's life is just go, go, go. There's not even a 30, there's no time on social media. There's no Netflix time. There's no time to enjoy whatever. It's task, 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 task. Well, if that's what it is, man, that's rough. Maybe blend those two worlds together if you can. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you walk the little kid to school. Tuesday, Thursday, you do the commute, so you get workout time. You sneak in one workout on the weekend. There's probably a way to try to do both. And like I said, if you could give me 30 minutes out of your day 3 times a week, and you don't eat like a drunken pirate, we'll make you into a beast. Done deal. You give me 4 30-minute sessions, we got no worries in the world. And so that would be my reply to that. I hope your two situations are not that extreme. Let's see. Patrick S. Friday and Saturday's workouts. What was your thought process behind programming? Okay, yes. So on Friday, we're going to have ourselves a heavy day, and that heavy day is going to put us below parallel, not to let the cat out of the bag. And then on Saturday, the next day, we're going to go below parallel again, quite differently. It's going to be with a very, very light weight on Saturday, just 1 set. Again, not to let the cat out of the bag. And the intention was, every now and then, we're going to force you to do work on muscle groups that are not optimal, that are fatigued, because life's going to force you to do that every now and then. Life's going to force you to train something or do something repetitive that you did the day before, and the musculature required to do that work is tired and not recovered from the day before. And we're going to go ahead and we touch that every now and then. And that's one of those days. So that workout that you're doing on Saturday is a named workout, a classic benchmark workout. And based upon what I just said, I didn't program it there for people to PR. I don't really care if anybody PRs on that one. I care that they're going to get that training stimulus of having to work hard on some musculature that is pre-fatigued from the day before. And that will be a worthwhile thing. And we do that deliberately and intentionally every now and then. Training like that all the time, back to back to back to back to back, not going to yield the best results. So what we do most of the time is not that. We're not going to go below parallel today and below parallel tomorrow. We're going to space it out a little bit so you get a little bit of that recovery and you hit it again. But every now and then, we're going to do something that has direct and intentional interference so that when we wander out of the gym into real life, we're ready and we know what it feels like and we know that we can do it. Cam M, is it possible to get a horizontal Linchpin gym banner? Is it possible to get a horizontal Linchpin banner outside of the banner kit? No, it is not. You either have to get the vertical flag, which is a standalone deal, or the horizontal one comes in the Linchpin banner kit 2.0, I think it is, with a Velcro patch, a magnet, an actual physical metal linchpin, and multiple stickers. So that's all sold as one thing. Phil T. Okay, you get to rub the CrossFit Genie lamp and you get 3 wishes pertaining to the world of CrossFit. What are the 3 things you would wish for? Well, first of all, number 1, everyone knows your first wish is for more wishes. So good try, Phil. I didn't fall for that one. So number 1, more wishes. With my 2 remaining wishes, it'd be great if I could go overhead and all the damage that I did to my shoulders in the military with motorcycle wrecks was like undone. That would be really cool. That'd be wish number 2. And then wish number 3, I don't know, it would probably be for people in the CrossFit space to pay less attention to social media. That'd probably be my 3rd wish. All right, here we go. From Sierra Bravo. Hey, coach and family, any thoughts or experience, perspective, or strong opinions on what's going on in the Hyrox community. It seems like a European derivative of CrossFit, more tailored to endurance. Out of the fundamentals of maybe old school CrossFit, etc., etc. I've never seen one in person. Cheers. Okay. So I will say that I have never done a Hyrox event. And if anyone's unfamiliar with what Hyrox is, it is an in-person race. I guess maybe you call it a fitness race that you show up for. It has 8 1,000 meter runs that you're going to do. And then there are 8 stations that you will perform various little tasks or workouts at. And so here is what, from top to bottom, to the best of my understanding, through Googles and some research, I think I got it all right, what a Hyrox race is. 1,000 meter run, 1,000 meter ski erg, 1,000 meter run, 50 meter sled push, 1,000 meter run, 50 meter sled pull, 1,000 meter run, 80 meters of burpee broad jumps, 1,000 meter run, 1,000 meter row, 1,000 meter run, 200 meter farmer's carry, 1,000 meter run, 100 meter sandbag lunge, 1,000 meter run, and then 100 wall ball shots. So as you can see, the 1,000 meter runs are most certainly a repetitive thing. That comes out to 8,000 meters of running, which is 4.9 miles. 8K of running is 4.9 miles of running. Did I say? I can't know if I said that right. 8,000 meters is 4.9 miles. So call it 5 miles of running. And then from what I could tell, the 50 meter sled push is with 335 pounds for men, 225 pounds for women. That could be bad or not bad. To be quite honest with you, the huge defining factor is the surface on which you are pushing. I mean, that makes all the difference in the world. If it's one of those, if it's a prowler, sled, butcher sort of a thing. These are indoor events, so I don't know how you could, again, here's my ignorance here. I don't know how you could make sure that the surface area of all those different arenas and indoor events is the same. Now, it would be the same for the people competing at that particular event, but if you did one last week in Houston and 2 months from now in Boston, there's a good chance that sled push felt different at one location than another. The 80 meters of burpee broad jumps, that's pretty straightforward. The 200 meter farmer's carry, from what I can tell, it seems like it's done probably with a pair of kettlebells based upon the weight that they said, because they said the women are using 2 by 16 kilograms and the men 2 by 24 kilograms. So it looks like women have a pair of 16 kilogram kettlebells, which is 35 pounds in each hand, and the men have a pair of 24 kilograms, which is 53 pounds in each hand. And so, we just did farmer's carries basically with that load yesterday, right? And over the course of my workout, I wound up I got 11 rounds of the farmer's carry, so that was 550 meters of farmer's carry I did with that. There's 200 meters of farmer's carries here, and that's in one big chunk. That's certainly going to suck. And most people are going to put them down multiple times. It just is what it is. And 100 meter sandbag lunge, and from what I could tell for that sandbag lunge, it's either 10, 20, or 30 kilograms, okay? How they select which load is which, I'm not sure. And then it ends with 100 wall ball shots, which nobody enjoys that. And from what I could also tell from some AI research, the open division seems to be the standard entry level, and the average athlete times for men are 1 hour and 35 minutes, and for women, 1 hour and 38 minutes. So it's a standardized competition that's the same no matter where you go. It's certainly on the longer time domain. It's a grind. If we're talking about an average of 90 minutes plus, for most people, that's a very long time for sure. And it's certainly going to, you're going to want to have lungs, you're going to want to have stamina, and you don't have to be profoundly strong to do, any of the things that I just said right there. But obviously having some strength capacity is going to be your friend on that sled. It's going to be your friend in the farmer's carry. if you don't have muscular stamina in the lower body, those lunges are going to be an absolute nightmare. Nobody wants to end with 100 wall ball shots. I mean, so fitness is going to be your friend, but fitness, I would say, with certainly a bit of a bias if Hyrox was going to be just your thing. I don't know if they define fitness or whatnot, but I would tend to think maybe it would be a bit different than CrossFit. But again, I'm just guessing on that. But yeah, I know seems to be a community aspect to it. There's obviously a competition aspect to it. There's different levels of it. I think they have also like affiliate communities. I think you can become a Hyrox affiliate. I'm not sure what that means. I think I heard somewhere that you might get, I don't know, just listed as searchable. If you want to get in shape for Hyrox in some area, then you search out a Hyrox training facility. And I'm sure that they're putting out, programming or whatnot to accomplish that. So that's like, I think my just synopsis of what it is, without giving like my opinion on it. I think that's just more objectively what it is. My opinion on it, I mean, without knowing too much about it, I got no drama with it. I think it looks like it'd be pretty fun to show up and do, to be honest with you. And, having done the training that we've done for a very long time, nothing about looking at what is involved with a Hyrox event makes me think that we're going to show up tomorrow and do one. I'm not saying I would crush it, but I'd say I just, go out there, jog the runs, do the other stations, jog the runs, and by the end, I've got in 5 miles of jogging and all these various things. I'm sure I'd be really tired and go out for a nice dinner. But it looks like probably a fun thing to go do. So I am sure, and I know I don't dive into this because it's of all the ways I would want to spend my time on planet Earth, getting into like Hyrox CrossFit things on the interwebs or Reddit or Lord knows where else would probably be one of the like living in the fifth ring of hell, I would think, as far as how I would want to spend my precious free time. But I know that those raging debates are just going on, and there's, like everything else in our world, right? There's people who are like, oh no, they're both cool. Do whichever one you want to do and coexist. It's all good, awesome. And then there are people who are like, my camp's right and your camp's wrong. And if you like the other camp, you're a traitor and I hate you. I don't get into a bunch of that. It's out there. So I stay away from that. And when I look at it, it looks like if you got a couple buddies together, it'd be a fun thing to go do. And I don't think anybody should be afraid to go do it. I mean, none of the particular individual things that you have to do are that intimidating. Now if you're still early in your fitness journey, the mere fact that there's 5 miles of running and you can end with 100 wall balls like that, I get it. That in of itself is intimidating. Nobody wants to do 80 meters of burpees. But again, all things I think are relatively, generally speaking, a lower barrier to entry for some people. You don't have to have a pull-up or a muscle-up or handstand walk or have a 225-pound clean and jerk or be able to snatch 155. Like those, again, this is difficult, but I think the barrier to entry, and especially from like a technical side, is lower. And that's probably appealing for a lot of people. But I'm curious to hear what everybody else's thoughts are. Joshua S., any chance of posting the AMA or getting it onto the podcast platform sooner so I can listen to them on the commute? It's easier to do in that format than a YouTube video. Sorry, probably not. I don't want to lie to you just because there's so much stuff that I have to do on a schedule to like sync everything with Linchpin that I can't make any sort of a promise that I'd be able to get it posted sooner. So it'll probably stay to its current thing, which, what are we on Thursday? I think I repost these on Tuesday. Did they become a podcast? But I'm sorry, Josh, we'll probably stay on the same thing. And finally, I think Tuesday's workout should come up again sometime. That was a doozy. That was the pull-up, squat, clean, shoulder overhead. Yeah, that one left a mark. That one left a mark. I think that we will have to see that one again. Andrew M. Any advice for being mentally tougher when you're tired and your heart rate is jacked up? I tend to go a bit easy on myself, doing small sets and taking too long of breaks. It's easy to tell myself to be tougher and to keep going, but I've really been able to make that happen for a workout. Any advice? I got a couple thoughts that percolated into the old noggin, and it seems like, well, first of all, you're showing up. I mean, not to be corny, but really you're winning. You're showing up. Now, okay, now you've identified an area that maybe you want to push your boundaries a little bit. That's cool. And you know yourself well. You said, what did you say here? I tend to go a bit easy on myself doing small sets and taking too long of the breaks. Okay, so maybe there's two things we could work on there. Small sets, either making them bigger sets or reducing your rest periods. So let's say you're going to stick with the small sets, and now what we're going to do is just try to keep the breaks from being too long. And so if you know yourself pretty well, it sounds like you do, what do you do when you take that break? Excuse me, when you do a small set of work, then you take a long break. What does a long break mean? You're just sitting there, you're looking at the clock, you're waiting until your heart rate comes down, and if you get a sense for various workouts as to what that time frame is, now you can give yourself set some sort of a limit or a parameter that won't allow you to dilly-dally. I'll tell you one of the things that I do in my garage. Work out in my, we've got a 3-car garage. 2 of it's used as an actual garage, and like the 1-car stall, that's where I work out. So it's a smaller space. And I'll tell myself during workouts, if I drop a barbell or do whatever it is, I'm tired, I got to break up the set. That barbell hits the ground. If I'm trying to get after it to make sure that my rest doesn't get too long, I will allow myself to walk to the wall at a normal pace, touch the wall, turn right around, walk back to the barbell, and then I got to pick up the barbell. And just saying that, hey, when I take a break, walk to the wall, touch it, and walk back. And that walk to the wall is probably 5 steps. Okay, it's not like, I'm not going on a big walk. And so that makes sure that my rest doesn't get out of control. So maybe you could play with something like that to keep your rest contained. And then the other thing that you could play with is maybe if you do allow yourself to take a longer break, well, now you're going to say, I'm going to offset that by forcing myself to take a bigger chunk of work. And a bigger chunk of work will probably result in a longer break, but hey, that's okay. We'll work both sides. Because maybe thinking about something like Grace, maybe you typically do Grace 30 clean and jerks, and you do them as quick singles. And you've done it all the time as quick singles. Your best time, your worst time, your average time. And now you tell yourself today, you know what? I'm going to do Grace, but I have to, every time I touch the bar, I got to hold on for a triple. So my Grace today, instead of being 30 singles, is going to be 10 triples. Cool. That's well outside your comfort zone. It's probably going to hit differently. And there's a really good chance that you might be slower because you'll find the touch and goes more demanding. There'll be more of a systemic hit to you. It will require more rest maybe than touch and goes would have done. And that might result in a slower Grace time. Big deal. You still did 30 clean and jerks at 135 pounds. That's a great training session. So the clock on the wall set it a little slower, whoop-de-doo. But what did you do? You dipped your toe into a water that you hadn't before. You got yourself outside of your comfort zone, and now you did bigger sets of work, 3 touch and goes each time instead of singles. And what happened? You didn't die. You felt good. It's now not as scary as it used to be. You know how your heart rate felt. You know how long it took to come down, and you proved to yourself that you could do it. And so playing those little games, playing the games with the rest, and then eventually merging those 2 worlds together, it just might be a good thing for you to experiment with. Phil T, one more from Phil T. Because we're in open season, for fun, if you could Frankenstein the perfect games athlete together using different attributes of different athletes, what would you do? No limits, can be mixed, male, female, OG, current, whatever. Oh man, Phil, I'm not in my prime anymore about knowing all these different games athletes. Anyone competing right now, I've got no clue who these people are. All the new names, no clue. I could bump into them in the store. I have no idea. Like, oh wow, look at the pecs on that guy. But that'd be about it. Man, I don't know. Give me a combo of Sam Briggs and Chris Spieler and, frowning or somebody, and you wouldn't be doing too bad. Probably not as well thought of an answer as you wanted. My apologies. All right, these questions are from the squads feature in the BTWB app. From Mackenzie M. On the scaled workouts, usually ring rows are programmed to replace pull-ups. Would jumping pull-ups be the next step up from that, or should we stick with the ring rows? Shooter's choice. You know, fitness freedom. Do whatever you want to do. If you're asking me, I'm personally not a really big fan of jumping pull-ups. I would stick with the ring rows. If you stick with the ring rows, just by sticking with ring rows, you could work your way to a strict pull-up. And I say this all the time. I mean, you can control the difficulty of them so well and infinitely scale them. The angle of your body, as you increase the angle, they become more difficult. You put your feet up on a box, your body's parallel with the ground. They're just about as hard as strict pull-ups right there. If that's not hard enough, have your feet on the box, and when the rings touch your chest, hold it for a 1 1,000, 2 1,000, then do the next rep. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. If you're knocking out ring rows like that, if you don't have a pull-up, you are really close to getting one. So as you increase that difficulty, the next thing that I would do is, instead of going to the jumping pull-ups, I would go with banded pull-ups, banded strict pull-ups. And as I usually say, choose a band that gives you less help than you want, because you want to be doing the work, not really the band. The band's just there to make sure that it's really, really hard, but possible for you. But it should be difficult. And then as you get up bigger sets and get better at that band, reduce that band to a band that gives you even less help, and then you just keep playing that game. From Jacob T. Is programming all 5 weekly workouts as Monday through Friday instead of taking a rest day on Thursday and a rest day on Sunday? So we do a 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off. So Jacob's saying, if I do smash all together, Monday through Friday, I work them all out together and take my weekends off, is that detrimental to progress? I tend to be in the outdoors on the weekends and like being able to maintain a routine during the work week. First of all, that's awesome that you're generally outside on the weekends. So I would say preserve that. Let's see. I think specifically of last week, some of the workouts performed, if I did them back to back. So if you've got, look, here's the deal. Can you work out Monday through Friday? Short answer is yes, you can. I did that as well for plenty of time. Is it ideal? No, I don't think it's ideal. If I thought it was ideal, that's how I'd program for everybody. Is it possible? Yes, but what you're probably going to deal with, and each athlete's going to be a little bit different based upon what you can tolerate as an athlete, how your sleep cycle is, how good you are at nutrition and recovery. But for most people that aren't androids, 1 workout, 2 workouts, day 3 in a row. By the time you get to day 4, you're feeling days 1 and 2, but you haven't gotten a break. And my goodness, by the time it's Friday and you're on workout day number 5, you're probably not going to be setting any lifetime PRs on Thursdays and Fridays most of the time. So you can do it, yes. I would give yourself grace. I would listen to your body, and I would also really specifically pay a lot of attention to modulating intensity. Because now that you're going to jam 5 workouts back to back to back to back to whatever, it's unlikely that you're going to just burn it down all 5 days in a row. So allowing yourself days of high intensity and then days where you take your foot off the gas and don't run the clock and make it a low intensity day, even though you might be training continuously for 5 days, you might be able to have this modulation that doesn't leave you feeling quite as beat up and still actually allows you to feel pretty good near the end of the week and have days of high intensity and lower intensity just to still drive results forward without leaving you overtrained or under recovered or whatever you want to say. But some experimentation will probably have to get taken place. Let's see. Kane F. Hey Pat, question regarding missing workout results. I did Wednesday's workout today and I can't see my results on the leaderboard. It was wildcard and it was modified. It's happened multiple times. Where am I going wrong? Okay, I'm not an expert at this specific thing that you're saying, but I have some theories that I guarantee there are people in Linchpin that actually know this stuff better than I do, so maybe they can chime in. But I'm almost positive that if if you do the wildcard option or any option and you modify it, just the fact that you modify it might get you on a different leaderboard because you're not comparing things exactly apples to apples. My other theory, and I think this is also true, is that if you do a workout on a different day than when it was assigned, I don't think you're going to get lumped in with what happened on that one particular day. I think you might have to go in and modify the date so that it syncs up with the original date that was posted. Then I think you'll sync back up with all the leaderboard results. That's my theory on that for you, Kane. If anybody else thinks that I'm onto something there or wildly wrong, please post that for Kane in the, you just post the answer to that in the private Facebook group or the squads feature there on BTWB. And Kane, more people see that question. You could also just post that question as a general post, because unless they open up this post about submitting AMA questions, they may not see what you wrote there. So you could post it as a general post in the BTWB squad or in the Linchpin private Facebook group, and you'll probably get the answer in like 15 minutes here. George C., you mentioned that you like your standing desk. I'm at it right now. I recently got one from my home office. At first I noticed my lower back was tight. I started wearing shoes and that seems to help. Do you wear shoes or do you go barefoot or socks? Interesting. You know, I've had it for so long that I can't recall how my back felt when I first got it, but I'm sure I felt something. That's going to be my caveat because like I said, I got the standing desk because I was like at a point in my life where if we'd go to our kids' sports games and I had to stand outside for 1 or 2 hours, like that was like a long time to stand. I was like, well, that's not good. I should be able to stand all day. So I got the standing desk, and now I can stand literally all day, and it's an easy day. But I'm sure it was quite new, foreign, and provided me almost some aches and pains for a little bit till my body got used to it and accustomed to it, but I don't remember what they were. But I don't wear shoes. I'll be in just socks, certainly in the morning be in some slippers, my house shoes, if you will. But I haven't experienced that low back thing that you just said right there. Christy C. I know there have been previous questions regarding moving around workouts to fit schedules, etc. And I think the common sentiment is that life happens and you got to do what you got to do. But I have a part B, if you will, to this question. If I have time constraints one day and a 40-minute workout is planned, for example, but I only have 20 minutes, is it better to cut down the workout accordingly to fit that 20-minute schedule, knowing that you programmed it in a specific pattern, or should I swap workouts, do the shorter one when I have less time, and save the full 40-minute workout for a different day later that week? Good question. I don't want to give you an unsatisfying answer, but I would say it just depends a little bit. And here's what I mean by that. I would look to the other workouts during the week, if you're going to swap things around like that based upon your time constraints, and see to the best of your ability, specifically looking at things not only like the time domain, that's obviously an important factor, but like the loadings and the gross movement patterns. Are we pulling from the ground and hinging at the hip? Are we pressing with our upper body? Are we going below parallel? Is it upper body pulling? Whatever it happens to be. And then if you are going to have to swap around the days that week to fit your time constraints, I would want to try to keep, let's say that there's 2 pulling from the ground days, don't put them back to back. Like I said, we're doing one actually intentionally on this Friday and Saturday, but that's not a common practice. So common practice is I would try not to put those 2, back to back. And so I would look at those gross movement patterns and try to lay out your week to the best possible. So yes, you most certainly could do that. And then if every now and then, again, because you're right, life doesn't care, and hey, it's do this or do nothing, and I'm going to put these 2 days back to back, and it's not ideal, but it's not a common thing. It's just what you got to do this week. I think you're going to be totally good to go. Okay, Shauna K. I listened to the Varied Not Random episode about working out at 5 a.m. and I was wondering if longer warm-ups might be beneficial when working out that early. I tend to find that I usually hit a stride after the first round or 2 of the actual workout. If yes, on the longer warm-up, would you recommend an extra round of whatever warm-up is programmed or a practice round of the actual workout, just adding in some extras specific to that focus for that day? So I would say there's a bit of individual preference in there as well, but if you are an early morning worker outer and you found out that a little bit of a extended warm-up because you had the time to do it actually made you feel better that early hour morning and more prepared for the workout, that's a great call. 100% good to go, great call. I mean, we chase what works. So you did some experimenting, you found that works, green light, mission approved, do it. Now, should you do an extra round of the warm-up or a gentle practice round of the workout before you kick it off? I don't see anything wrong with either one of those, quite frankly. Nothing wrong with it at all. Depending upon what the workout is, that might help you make that decision. But one gentle practice round of the workout before you begin, that might be a great way to just get that little bit of an extended warm-up. Either one is totally good to go, and I think you're on the right track. Let's see. Eugene Y. I'd love to know more about how to train when you're going on vacation. Obviously, if it's going to be for a full month, then it's good to do even a no equipment version of the workout. First of all, let me stop you right there, Eugene. Are you taking a full month vacation? A month vacation? If you are, I'm not even mad. I am happy for you. I'm jealous and I'm envious. I hope you're getting to take a full month vacation. That's phenomenal. Okay. Obviously, if it's going to be for a full month, then yes, it's good to do something even like the no equipment version of the workout. But if you're only going to be away for a week, should you forget about the training while you're gone? Or maybe try to do double workouts the week before you leave, and the week after you get back. What's the best way to approach this? I'll be missing 4 or 5 workouts later in the month due to a vacation, but I'll be walking a lot. Thanks. There is a split in the Sherwood household on this topic. When we're on vacation, my wife's on vacation. She's not walking into the hotel gym or doing burpees in the room. That makes the vacation not fun for her. Let's talk about the other part in the Sherwood household. Yours truly. You better bet your bottom dollar I'm going to get in some workouts on that vacation because I'm a psychotic idiot. And just the way that my brain is wired, as I've said before, I don't just work out for the strength and conditioning aspects, for the physical aspects, for the independent living, like for all those good things that we know about. I need to do workouts over the course of the week for my mental health. It is my stress relief. It helps keep me sane. I'm a better father. I'm a better husband. I'm a better friend. I'm a better everything. I'm better in traffic. I'm in better everything when I do those workouts. And so for me personally, however heavily scaled, modified, no equipment, it doesn't matter, I'm going to get in a workout. I'll probably on the same days that I would. And my worst case scenario would be I do an every other day thing. Okay, so I'm gone Monday through Friday. Normally that would be 4 workouts, right? With just 1 off day on Thursday. I probably would still do that even on vacation, but my worst case scenario is I'd probably do every other day. I do something on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to do something. My wife, no. I don't think that you have to double up in workouts the week before. I don't think you need to double up when you get home. I don't think you need to do that at all. The choice really is yours. If you're talking about when you zoom out, that's when I think this really makes sense. So over the course of the year, there's 52 weeks in the year. We do 5 workouts a week. How many workouts is that a year? 52 weeks, 5 times 50 would be 250 workouts, and then there's another 2 weeks. So 260 workouts. If you follow the Linchpin programming, you're going to do 260 workouts over the course of the year. You're going to be missing potentially 4 or 5 of them. Let's say you're going to miss 5. You choose not to work out during your vacation week. You can take a full vacation. So now you didn't do 260 workouts this year. You did 255. I mean, that's what, you missed less than 1% of the workouts. You are going to be perfectly fine, my friend. Perfectly fine. So if it's less stressful for you to just go enjoy that vacation, go enjoy that vacation. If you're wired in a bizarre manner like I am, you want to do some moving while you're there, absolutely good to go. But I don't think you need to double up beforehand, and I don't think you need to double up afterwards. So that's it. Okay. All right, everybody. That is another Ask Me Anything. Sorry that YouTube didn't let me go live. So I'll upload this video now, and I'll see everybody online. It's Thursday, so enjoy your rest day.